There I was, standing at the edge of my field, a letter in one hand, a steaming cup of coffee in the other, watching a convoy of SUVs, minivans, and golf carts stream onto my property like it was a mall grand opening. No warning, no heads up. I blinked, reread the letter, and looked up just as a kid hopped out of a Range Rover and peed on my peach tree. For a moment, I thought I was still asleep. Then the nightmare sank in. The HOA had declared my private field the public parking lot, and I hadn't even been invited to the vote. The letter, signed by Eleanor Grayson, HOA president and self-appointed neighborhood royalty, dripped with smugness. In the interest of community convenience, it began, "Your adjacent property has been designated as a temporary parking solution for the upcoming HOA annual celebration and related events." No permission, no discussion, just the assumption. My field, tended for years, was theirs. A cheerful map marked it. Event parking. HOA, guests only. I marched to the HOA office that afternoon, letter in hand, and slapped it on Eleanor's desk. She barely glanced up from her laptop, flashing a condescending smile. "Oh, hello, Nathan Cole," she chirped. "I figured you'd be thrilled to help the neighborhood." I explained my field wasn't a vacant lot, wasn't abandoned, wasn't public. It was mine. She waved a manicured hand. "Unused land is wasted land. This is for the greater good." Greater good? Since when was turning my property into a tailgate zone suburban harmony? The next few days were maddening. Cars rolled in like they owned it. Lawn chairs sprouted, grills fired up. Kids flung frisbees into my peach trees. 2 teens even strung a volleyball net between my fence posts. No one asked. They took. The HOA strutted around like it was a festival, unbothered by their lack of rights. What stung wasn't just the disrespect. It was Eleanor's snide giggles with her cronies about my rustic land, acting like they were doing me a favor by trampling it. That evening, watching the sun dip behind a field of minivans, my anger turned to resolve. Pacing near the old shed, kicking weeds, I stumbled on a rusted hatch. My heart raced as it clicked. The old irrigation system, built by my granddad. I pried it open, revealing a valve and pipes snaking across the field. A twist released a hiss of water. It still worked. A wild, wicked idea sparked. I grinned as a spurt soaked a stray chair. They parked on my land? Fine. I'd give them a show they'd never forget. I felt calm, not because the problem vanished, but because I had a plan. A big, wet, muddy one. They wanted games. I'd teach Eleanor and her HOA a lesson in boundaries. Next morning before dawn, I grabbed coffee and headed to the shed, buzzing like I had won the county fair's top prize. Again, this wasn't just revenge, it was justice. I dug through dust, finding Granddad's irrigation schematics behind scrap metal. Unrolling them, I whistled. Pipes, sprinkler heads, drainage lines. Webbed the field. In bold letters, flood mode. Granddad once joked it could launch a cow across the county. Then it was a laugh. Now? My ace. I spent hours crawling the field, brushing dirt to find sprinklers. Most intact. A few needing patches. The shed's pump, a relic, hummed alive after new bolts and a well hookup. By midday, I tested it. A twist of the valve sent streams arcing across the edge. It had worked. Magnificently. I tweaked connections, marked weak spots with flags, aiming for a muddy mess to swallow golf carts. That evening, I scouted the neighborhood. Eleanor's crew prepped their gala like it was the event of the year. Hanging banners, setting vendors, passing flyers, community celebration, parking courtesy of your neighbor. My neighbor, as if I donated it. I crumpled a flyer, plotting timing. Too early, they'd relocate. Too late, they'd leave. It had to hit when the field was packed. Cars, tents, grills, total chaos. So I played nice. Next day, I strolled into their prep meeting with homemade oatmeal cookies. Real ones, not Eleanor's store-bought junk. They ate it up, figuratively and literally. I nodded as they droned about logistics, even offering to mark safe zones with paint, right over the strongest sprinklers. I suggested clustering food trucks in the stage in the center. Prime splash territory. Eleanor, clueless, clapped. I knew you'd come around. Thinking I'd bowed to her grace, I grinned, picturing mud under her heels. Nights I fine-tuned the system, greased the valve, set it to maximum flood. Days I waved as they set up, biting back laughs when Eleanor bragged about my team spirit. The night before, under moonlight, I triple-checked every connection. My battlefield primed. Pride swelled. Not just for the land, but for what I'd prove. I barely slept, heart racing with anticipation. Let them park, grill, sip lemonade. I'd be ready. Gala day dawned clear. From my window, I watched cars snake in. SUVs, sedans, directed by vest-wearing teens. Eleanor stood at the entrance, clipboard in hand, beaming smugly. By noon, my field was a carnival. Tents, food trucks, tables, blaring speakers. Kids ran with balloons. Adults lounged over barbecue. A band tuned on a stage above the biggest sprinklers. A VIP tent with tablecloth set over Granddad's wildest head. Perfect. Eleanor, in a floral dress, flitted about, taking credit for my generosity. I waved to thanking neighbors, counting down. Post-lunch, the gala peaked. Band butchering a tune. Kids in a bounce house. Barbecue, scent thick. The field was jammed. No grass spared. I mingled, hiding smirks at great spot, compliments. As the sun dipped, I slipped to the shed, hand on the valve. Part of me hesitated. Too far? Then I recalled the kid on my tree. Eleanor's laughs. Nope, just right. I twisted the valve. Pipes groaned alive. Back at the field, I sipped lemonade as Eleanor gave a self-praising speech. Then it hit. The first sprinkler erupted under the VIP tent. A 20-foot geyser soaking tablecloths, flowers, and Eleanor. Silence. Then chaos. More sprinklers fired like dominoes. Guests scrambled. Chairs flipped. Food flew. As water burst up, the bounce house collapsed. The band's gear popped. The singer, duff. Cars revved, sinking into mud. Tires spun. Ruts deepened. Eleanor, drenched, screamed orders. Lost in the din. People slipped. Vendors fled. Kids laughed like it was a water park. I sipped unfazed. I could have stopped it early, but I let it run. Every trespasser felt it. When I shut the valve, the field was a swamp. Tents sagged. Cars stuck. Gala ruined. Eleanor stomped over, mascara streaking. What did you do? She shrieked, slipping. Old irrigation's got kick, I said, sipping. Her flailing. The board's panic. Worth it. Next morning, the field was a war zone. Chairs buried, tire scars deep, tents wilted. From my porch, it was art. Eleanor and the board gaped at the wreckage. Her mud-crusted dress, a badge of defeat. Tow trucks struggled. Vendors salvaged scraps. The band cursed her out. No one dared face me that day. Tim, a meek board member, knocked, stammering about miscommunication and asking help with cleanup. I leaned in, happy to, once the HOA admits, in writing, they trespassed. He paled, scurrying off. Gossip buzzed. Some mad, others gleeful. Old-timers tipped hats. One left a pie with a wink. Eleanor's tyranny had foes. She called an emergency meeting, plotting a counter. But I had the deed. Granddad's clause. No public use without a signed lease. None existed. At the meeting, they offered a weak apology, suggesting I chip in for cleanup. I slid the deed over. Silence. No lease. No claim, I said. You pay, Tim croaked. We didn't sign anything. I leaned back. Didn't think so. Eleanor stormed out, board flustered. Within a week, the HOA paid full cleanup. Neighbors dug into past overreaches, petitions flew, and Eleanor resigned. No successor stepped up. The HOA shrank to potlucks. No more galas or parking grabs. I planted flowers along the field, hung a sign, private property, trespassers will be irrigated, Neighbors chuckled, some praised my blooms. The field was mine again, quiet, respected. Glancing at the valve, I smiled. Ready, just in case. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with family and friends. Thank you.